What's up, Buttercup? Welcome back to my channel. Today's book haul is some Prime books and then some other books that technically weren't for Prime Day, but they were cheap and or recommended to me. I can't help myself. Thank you. Now, the first book I've been wanting to buy, and it was like $8 or $6, whatever. It is The Red Dragon, a Hannibal Lecter book. It's the first book in the series, and then everyone knows about The Silence of the Lambs, but that's the second book. Everyone just remember that. It took me a while to comprehend that I don't read The Silence of the Lambs. You read Red Dragon first, because this is technically the first book. But I vaguely remember this movie, but like it was out of sync. Like they did The Silence of the Lambs first, and then this one, and then other. Yeah, I don't know. That just threw me off. So I had to really just research. So I bought this book first, and I'm not going to get the other ones, so my brain's not confuzzled, because it's been confuzzled quite often the past few months. And this is actually a book for my Halloween readathon. Did I say that? Yes, I did. It's one book that is connected to one of the prompts. More to come on that, by the way. The next book is spooky. It's a classic horror. It's The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I was gonna read this for the Halloween readathon that I'm putting on, but then I was like, I have to switch it with another book that I'm gonna buy later on. This also was like $7.99 during and around Prime time, but it wasn't part of a Prime deal. It's fine. I'm totally into it. I read The Lottery and We Have Always Lived in the Castle, and those were great, so of course I need to read this book. The next book, it was only $5, but it was heavily used. It's The Book of Celtic Myths. This was recommended to me by my author friend JM. He's really into Celtic history and myths and legends, just like myself. And so when he recommended it on Facebook, yeah, I scoured Amazon for this nonfiction book, and I had to buy it used, but it was only $5, and I think this is a great deal. It's a little beaten up, but that just means it was loved. Next up is Rachel Aaron's 2,000 words to 10,000 words, How to Write Faster, Better, and Write More of What You Love. Now, this was recommended to me by a writing coach. I'm not trying to get to 10,000 words like a day or even in a week. No. The point of this was to do an experiment. Now, what Rachel did was her word count kept dropping and dropping and dropping, and then she was just confused as to why she wasn't writing as much as she was. Like, she was in a rut. I'm in a rut. And so then she did an experiment. She wrote in different places, which I can't do because I have a desktop. So maybe the experiment's not going to be great, but I'm going to try. So she wrote in different places at different times and different days, and then she wrote down her word count every single time. And so then she realized that she has to write in a certain place at a certain time on certain days, and that's how, you know, just unconsciously her brain works better doing those things. And I thought this was really fascinating. I think I am more of a afternoon or night writer, but you know what? I think that might have changed because I'm not churning out words. Like, I don't know what happened. I mean, well, life happened. Life happens. You also grow up. I'm 31 now. I was writing a bunch of words when I was a teenager in the late afternoon and at night because I could do that. I have a full-time job now. I can't really stay up until midnight. Just kind of a thing. And so I was like, oh, wow, that is really interesting. And she did it for a month or two, and she was not focused on a goal of publishing. She was focused on experimenting. And I think that is really fascinating. So I'm gonna give it a go. I can't move around. Like, she went to her office and she went to Starbucks and she was in the dining room, and like she was a lot of places because she has a laptop. I don't have a laptop, I have a desktop, so I'm a bit limited. But I think that whatever I can do with a desktop, I will definitely experiment on and see how it goes. There's no harm in it. This was $5. $5 book. Please, of course. Thank you so much. Now, going into the 3 books that were technically Prime Day deals, Jack Ketchum, The Girl Next Door, this is for the Messed Up Book Club, but for 2025. I actually bought it because I was going to read it separately, because I think Patrick read it. And I was like, oh, well, then it's not going to be for the Messed Up Book Club. But I was wrong. I confused things. And it was already on the list that Brian set up. And I'm like, oopsie. Okay, so we're going to wait really long to actually read it. So it's just going to be on my shelf, just sitting there for like 6 to 8 months. Yeah. You know, I didn't look up the list that Brian put out. My bad. But at least I got it for $8, $6. So all 3 of the books, the total was just $25. So what does that come out as? I don't know. But, you know, 3 books for $25 is great. Now, the next one is An American Beauty, a novel about the Gilded Age. And I've seen this book around, and it was cheap during Prime Day. Therefore, I bought it. I need to go back to historical fiction. I'm just having like a weird reading slumpish, but not really, but like, where are the 5-star reads? Like, I just need historical fiction. Even historical fantasy, that's fine. I just need historical stuff. So I hope this is a great novel where I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, historical fiction not letting me down, unlike other books lately. And the last book that was 3 for $25 is The Midnight Library. I've seen so many people say they love it, and I've seen so many people say that this book is trash. I'm going to read it for myself because I don't trust y'all. Yep, I said it. Especially on Goodreads. I don't trust it. I'm getting like really different reviews and summaries and blurbs, whatever, of this book from different people. So that's interesting. And therefore, I'm going to read it for myself and see what's the most accurate review or, you know, summary or whatever. This keeps happening lately, where reviewers are somehow reading a different book. Like, I don't know. So that's an adventure in and of itself. Thank you so much for watching my Prime Day book haul. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. Do whatever you need to do for self-care in these hard times, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.